Just a few hours away from kick-off here against Carlisle United at the Park, our fourth of 4 home games in 10 days. And it's time for another pitch update from Chaz. You join us here at the top of the Big Banks. He's surveying his pitch. Chaz, how are we?
Yeah, we're good today. We're right in the rhythm of it now, to be fair. String lining up and down with the cut, string lining the lines, trying to improve our presentation all the time. Obviously, when there was only 3 of us, we could only do so much. But we've got a couple of young gentlemen out there today, one on a short-term contract, interested in becoming a groundsman, and he was available. So we've got a fair bit of work on. We've had a fair bit going on at the training ground with recorking the surface out there to bring that right up to a similar standard to this, even though it's artificial. And we've got a young man joined us from Teignmouth Cricket Club, who we travelled to a Birmingham trade show back along, and he said he was interested in coming in. And so he joined us today, and he's a dab hand with the mowers already. The only difference is they're a bit bigger on a football pitch than they are on a cricket square. So that's Luke and Joe. So we're really pleased they're here, which enables us to basically produce better standards. For all intents and purposes, no different than a Premier League pitch, string lining everything to get everything spot on. So we're always looking to improve standards, as we are right the way across the club. So, yeah, really, really good times. Just gives me a bit more downtime to get my head around everything. So, and see where else we can make improvements.
So either of those two could be standing here in a couple of years' time having this conversation on the microphone?
Well, yeah, it depends whether I wear myself out or not. Certainly, everyone's got potential to stand where I'm standing, and that's kind of where we all, I started right at the bottom, back in the old golf course days, repairing rakes and raking bunkers, and fly mowing, and that was over 40 years ago. So, everyone's got the potential if they've got the enthusiasm, and they're slightly bonkers.
Obviously, it's been a hectic 2 weeks for you with these 4 games, but obviously the pitch here at Groundsman, it's not the only thing you do. And, outside of this, you volunteer down at Teignmouth with the lifeboats. Tell us a little bit about
that. I volunteered. I started when I was 30 years old when I moved back to Teignmouth. Always wanted to be on the crew, and when it started back in the early 90s. I was lucky enough to be accepted when I moved back to Teignmouth, and been there ever since. So 20, going into my 27th year, 26, 27 years. Absolute honour to be involved with the lifeboat service, and really enjoy it as well. Unless we get a 2 o'clock in the morning shout and I've got to be up here for a match day, which has happened in the past. You might find me having a little snooze at some point just before the game when we finished everything.
Incredibly rewarding, I imagine, when if you do have to save someone's life and you successfully do that.
You don't really think of it like that. You just think of it as you just want to put something back into the community, and a real honour that I've been able to do it, because not very few people are. It's where you live and what availability you have. Have less availability now working in Exeter. I used to work in Teignmouth for the first sort of 20 years of my service, and then when I moved here, I changed my position there. So still involved, and hopefully be involved in many years to come. But yeah, it certainly keeps you on your toes and gives you a bit of an adrenaline rush when the pager goes off. It's great. It's a really rewarding thing and enjoyable thing to be involved with.
Obviously, back to the pitch. Obviously, the lads are putting the final cut on. I imagine all the usual furniture, you call it's going out. But no home game now for 10 days. So what does the next 10 days look like for the pitch? What's going to be done on that?
We'll take ownership back of the pitch after today's game. We have a routine we run through when we're away from the matches, and that'll include overseeding. We'll be putting different types of seed on now. We're going into the colder months, so there'll be seed that grows at or germinates at lower ground temperatures and lower air temperatures. That'll go on. Then there'll be some aeration, so we'll punch holes in to open the surface back up, because we've been compacting it so it's nice and firm and hard for the football. And then we've got a feed and a granular feed to go on, which should help that seed germinate and grow. And and then I think we've got an even busier period in the next 10 days. I've counted 5 games in not a lot of days, with the FA Cup, the 18s, 2 league games, and then the Papa John's, all in quick succession. But I'm glad to say that after the Papa John's, I think it's our staff Christmas do. So we'll be all very ready to relax on that. I think it's a Wednesday, and then we do get another little break up to Christmas. So unless something else fits in, because 3 weeks ago we didn't have half these games. But hey ho. But yeah, but it's great. It's fantastic. It's positive. 4 games in 10 days, and the pitch. We're still proud of what we can produce. And it shouldn't be playing that much different to the first game in out of the 4. So yeah, really chuffed, really pleased, really excited, and really enthused by what we can produce. And hopefully we'll be able to keep doing that right the way through the winter and into the spring. And the thing we need to work on really hard now is making sure we maintain grass cover. So I will be a lot more grumpy if people are walking all over my pitch. So at the end of the game, you boys can do them a massive favour by not letting them go on the pitch for their interviews. Otherwise, you'll be grumpy Chaz, okay?
Okay. Well, that's us told. It's nice to be up the top of the Big Bang for a change. Everyone in here over the past few weeks has been absolutely superb, so please keep that up and back the boys today. Chaz, thank you very much, and we'll let you crack on.
Yeah, thanks very much, and make sure you keep them off my pitch at the end of the game.